Hello, and welcome to episode number, I believe it's 426 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. We are here for the first SmackDown branded pay-per-view of Season 8. It is the No Mercy event. We are here from... let's decide right now. It's a good job I did change, actually, because I've just realised this was set to be Cardiff, because this is from Clash of the Castle last year. It's the same event. I don't have a specific venue in mind. Let's say we are in the Northwest. We are in the 73,000. Let's go Seattle. Sure, we're in Seattle here tonight for the show. Features a couple of big matches. John Cena returns for the first time since WrestleMania. He teams with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Florence to take on Hit Row. The main event, Io Sky defends the Women's World Championship against Bianca Belair, against Dakota Kai. World Heavyweight Championship Triple Threat, LA Knight and Carmelo Hayes both challenge Montez Ford, and a whole lot more. So without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show. We start on the pre-show with a 78 rated match. I continue to just, not being able to justify taking the belts off of Death from Above, because they are scoring a collective 91, 82, and 92. So, yeah, they retain here, defeating Angelico and Terminal Velocity, the Marley brothers, in 12:56. Pistolero pins Ty Marley with a Revolution Fly to make defense number 8 of the Cruiserweight Trios Championships. Yeah, 50 for Toby Marley, which I think is Darius Martin. Yeah. 70 for Ty Marley, 74 for Angelico, 82 for Lindsay, 91 for Grand Metalik, and a 92 for Pistolero. Not too shabby, that one. We then get hype video, kicking off all the action here tonight, as I just went over the main event. Io and Dakota, got LA Knight, Montez Ford, Carmelo Hayes, John Cena. How could I forget Daniel Bryan versus Ilia Dragonov? Could be the best match of the whole year. But kicking things off is the return to the ring for John Cena for the first time since WrestleMania. He's going to team up with Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Florence. Winner take all 8-person mixed tag team match against Hit Row. 90. B-Fab is in a 90 rated match on pay-per-view. We love that. We love that for her. But yes, in a match I'm sure had very little heat. Well, it did have heat because John Cena's in it. But, in terms of people not thinking I was going to end up putting the Women's Money in the Bank briefcase on B-Fab, John Cena, Florence, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn do win. John Cena pins Top Dollar with an AA in 14-17. 85 for Florence, 88 for Sami, 82 for Kevin, 90 for John Cena, 50 for B-Fab, 76 for Shanky, 72 for Top Dollar, and an 88 for Swerve Scott. And yeah, I'm actually during the match, Swerve doesn't really do much. There probably will be a moment where John Cena tags in and he's like, oh, I want Swerve. Then he'd demand Ashanti tag him in or whatever. And then him and John Cena would go face to face. He'd punk him out and then immediately tag straight back out. Shit like that. But in the end, John Cena drops Top Dollar with an AA and pins him. After the match, the baby faces are going off celebrating. They're slapping hands with the fans in the front row. And of course, Swerve is going to belittle the fuck out of Top Dollar. He's going to shout at him, he's going to shove him, he's going to pie face him, go, what is this, This is my chance to finally get in the ring with John Cena and you screwed it up. Because you always screw everything up, didn't you, Dollar? Because you ain't Top Dollar. You're asking who's harder than Top Dollar. A whole lotta. That's the answer. And he keeps shoving him. And then in the end, when it looks like Top Dollar's going to snap, Swerve just walks out. And then when he walks up the ramp, he's like, no, we're done. We're done. And then he's greeted on the ramp by strange new gentleman. He's wearing a weird crown. His name is... We don't know his name, but his name is Lord Bando, but he doesn't say that on screen. And he comes out and he goes, Swerve, my boy, let's talk business. And Swerve follows him out, as the rest of Hit Row just look on in the ring confused, like, what the fuck? Who's that guy? Who the hell is that guy? His gimmick, called that, got an initial rating of great. Yeah, it's going to take some fans time to get used to the new gimmick. Trust me, no it is not. They're going to take to it very, very quickly. I promise you. We then cut Believe it or not, this isn't a mistake. We then cut to Adam Pearce's office, where Cammy is in there with referee Jason Ayers. She goes, look, I'm not asking you to do a whole lot about it tonight, because, you know, it's showtime. But the level of officiating on SmackDown had to be, you know, has to be under investigation, because the referee was distracted by Bianca. What was Bianca even doing out there? Okay, and then Dakota Kai comes out, she kicks Io in the head, and Io loses because of Asuka, because of Bianca's interference, and the referee does nothing about it. He's incompetent. I don't want him refereeing the main event tonight. Pierce goes, well, first of all, Cammy, you were the one trying to put the brass knuckles on Io's hand. You know, Dakota only simply retaliated back. She went, no. That's showing favoritism against your champion. Okay, if you're not going to take this matter seriously, and you're going to end up costing the Genius of the Sky, the Josie Judas, the WWE Women's Champion, the championship because of your inept running of this show, well, Pierce, then I guess we'll have to take matters into our own hands. And Pierce goes, what the hell does that mean? And she goes, nothing. And she just walks out. 85. Candice suffered a whiplash neck strain. That's I don't think going to keep her out at all, and it's only lasted a couple of days. But it doesn't matter, it's irrelevant anyway, and you'll see why in a sec. Bianca and Candice get an 85 rated match. Goes 13:49. And the finish is a disqualification on pay-per-view. Oh, yeah. I had to just get this one. That's why this match went on second, because ick. But I know Candice is like babyface and like underdog and shit, and she can probably take pins and be less damaged than somebody else would. But she has eaten a lot of pins recently. So, I didn't want to beat her. I didn't want to beat Bianca. And I have other avenues I want to take the feud at a later point. So, a disqualification finish seemed like the best thing here. Bianca, I guess, hits her with a chair or some shit. As she's doing a suicide dive on the outside, Bianca throws a chair in her face or whatever. Gets disqualified. And then she continues to attack Candice with the chair on the outside. She orders Jakara to clear off the announce table, and Candice LeRae ends up taking a... Bianca got heat because of a botch that caused Candice. I'll have to amend to that, because they're going to have beef with each other now. I'll have to meddle with that, because no. Yeah, but after the match, she orders Jakara to clear the announce table, and Candice does take a KOD through the table. And then referees and doctors run out to try and take care of Candice, and like tell Bianca and Jakara to back off. She goes, "Oh, you know, I've made my case, okay? I've done what I needed to do, okay? As far as I'm concerned, this is over now." But probably not going to be the case for Candice. Oh my goodness, the injuries are fucking me. Oh, floating kneecap for Omos. Knee-based injuries are always weird, because I will always remember it like 2 years ago now. But Drew McIntyre's disco knee is still ingrained in my head. And I was like, that's not going to keep him out for long. Get him out for like 3 weeks. So, floating kneecap. I think I've had this injury before. I don't know how long it is. But Omos does put over Big Problem Cass here tonight. Big Problem Cass defeats Omos with an East River Crossing in 9 minutes and 8 seconds. And yeah, his first match on the main roster in 5 years is a victory. Big Problem Cass for the D'Angelo family. They got great chemistry, so who knows? Maybe we run this back again once Omos doesn't get injured in it and he's back and Big Cass is more popular. But yes, 45 for Big Problem, 79 for Omos. And it is the Problem who stands tall here tonight. We then cut backstage. Bianca and Jakara sort of like striding through the hallway, proud of themselves. Because, girl, you know, Tez is going to retain tonight. We took care of that Candice LeRae problem. It's going to be a great night for us, okay? The EST are going to stay on top. And then from out of nowhere, like, Piper Niven just charges in. I imagine Jakara goes down as collateral. And she, like, pins Bianca up against the wall. And Tegan's there as well, just, like, mouth off. He goes, Bianca, I thought we had a deal here. She went, what deal, girls? Deal, yeah, Jakara's gonna fight Asuka. So I was like, well, last we checked, me and Tegan checked, we took part in our deal. We took care of Candice. Utami defeated Candice. Okay? You relied on us and we came up clutch for you. But then what happened to your end of the bargain, Bianca, huh? Why did your interference cause you to lose to Asuka? She's like, just put me down and I'll explain. And she's like, Bailey goes down. She's like, oh, Bailey, I've got a Dakota from Bailey. Bianca. It's like, well, first of all, that's putting your hands on the franchise player like that, not acceptable. Second of all, I tried to, repay the favor and get back at EO, but girl, it didn't turn out so well. And if she's got a problem with what I did on SmackDown, why don't the champ come see me face to face? Why are our two little lackeys coming to see the EST, the franchise player? Why don't you tell champ, if she's even still champion, come tonight, because she's on a bit of a losing streak right now. So I hear. But I'm hard as ever, and she knows where to find me. Good luck tonight. And she walks out. You son of a fucking bitch. 99. So close to the second 100, as it should have been. This match would have been a 100. Apparently, it was the commentary's fault. Daniel Bryan against Ilya Dragunov. They go 24 minutes, 23 seconds. And this is Bryan Danielson versus Ilya Dragunov. You can picture it in your head. It's the greatest match you've ever seen in your life. Both men probably end up bleeding from the mouth after it. Bryan, he is the best wrestler in the world. Like, proved. He beat Okada at SummerSlam. Like, he's the best wrestler in the world. Ilya wants that title. He went toe-to-toe with the Beast at SummerSlam. Came up just short. And tonight, him and Bryan go at it. The American Dragon versus the Mad Dragon. Have I not called it that yet? Yes. But yeah, that's the bout. American Dragon, Mad Dragon. They're smacking each other. He's going for those H-bombs on Bryan Danielson. But then he's clocked from behind by a man in the hood. And Bryan Danielson hits him with a running knee to pin Bryan Danielson. Daniel Bryan hits him with a running knee to pin him. And then the man in the hood, well, he's not even masked up. He's just not facing the screen. But then he does face the screen. We do see his face. It's Miles Bourne, the young NXT guy that Bryan beat up on SmackDown a couple of weeks ago before Ilya made the save. He's come to the aid of Bryan Danielson tonight. And after the match, he gets in the ring and he raises Daniel Bryan's hand. I think I called him Bryan Danielson again. And him and Tonya Breeze, okay? Those are the two. I will look at Luchasaurus in real life and have to fight off the urge to call him Zergus. I will look at Tyler Bate in real life and have to fight off the urge to call him Dudley. I will look at Chris Statlander in real life and have to fight off the urge to call her Nova Nebula. But I cannot for the life of me call him Daniel Bryan, and I cannot for the life of me call her Tonya Breeze and not Maxine. Problems, okay? Anyway, Daniel Bryan. His arm is raised by Miles Bourne. And, yeah. Maybe Bryan's got a new protege in his ranks here tonight. In young Miles Bourne. 88. We take that. Anything blue is still good for a mid-card pay-per-view match. Asuka and Utami. The second big women's match of the night. And Asuka, fresh off her victory over Io last night, gets another win here tonight. She beats Utami 20-33 with a spin kick. 94 for Asuka, 85 for Utami Hayashishita. And yeah, 88 is pretty fine. We take that. We move. Yeah, not much else to say, really. Asuka wins. She doesn't even need the mist this time. She just beats Utami clean. 82. There's a lot going on in this match, so 82 is honestly fine. Because Rufus Hamilton has that retrousse nose that he suffered on SmackDown when Solo thumbed him in the nose, apparently. And then you've got, they're just, some of them aren't that popular. The only really popular ones are, apparently Nebo scoring an 84, okay. But this 6-man tag team match to end this feud ends 14 minutes and 44. Buster Gates once again scores the pinfall over Seth Rollins. We have Rochambeau in 14:44. 79 for Solo, 73 for Jacob Fatu, 87 for Seth, 84 for Nebo, 47 for Rufus, and a 77 for Buster. Yeah. Buster's gimmick gets a very good, the Revolutionary, because you get it, the Revolution, and he's just beating Seth Rollins. Yeah. Haha. But, interesting comment I want to make about Buster. Of all people, he took up a TV role in the game. Well, I mean, not of all people, because it is Ricky Starks, but, like, compared to, like, the popularity of everybody on the show, it's Buster. So he's going away in a few months to film a TV role. So when the Revolution leave again, that's why. But I just thought it was interesting that he's now at that spot where he is getting picked up for TV roles. Another person that you might not think would get picked up for a TV role has also been picked up for a TV role, and that one's really fucked up a lot of my plans, including forcing me to fail a goal. But that's got nothing to do with No Mercy and SmackDown, so we'll get to that when I have to address it. But there you go. That's a little teaser for whether that announcement's going to end up being. 78. Lack of psychology, even though I scripted the match. Keith Lee and Bronson Steiner, still, both bandaged and battered up from the Last Man Standing match. Around I Quit match here tonight, loser is gone from WWE. And in 15:35, thanks to a Steiner recliner, Bronson Steiner sends Keith Lee packing from WWE. 83 for Bronson Steiner, 82 for Keith Lee. So a lot of things here. Keith Lee loses because, he took on that match with Daniel Bryan yesterday. When he probably shouldn't have, which was an extra day Braun got to rest, whereas Keith went through like 15 minutes with Daniel Bryan. I'm big on refreshing people and like stuff like that. Keith has been World Heavyweight Champion, he's fought Brock Lesnar, he's done a lot of big things. But he's not really somebody that will end up getting back to that level again, because I've got a lot more people in the pipeline that I want to get up there. So rather than him just toiling away, his contract is coming up relatively soon, and he can head on off to AEW to do some cool stuff over there. Or, whatever the other one was. The new company I created, whose initials I've forgotten. They were an all-women's company, but I've now made them 50-50, so they're hiring men. But Keith Lee's just a character that, like, I don't have anything else to do with on this show. So, yeah, this is a shoot, brother. That was his last match, at least for now. I may bring him back in a couple of years when his contract's down again. But, yeah. Bronson Steiner, of course, one of the men who has lapped Keith in the pecking order, I'd say. After the match, he just stands over Keith. He stands there looking like a star. Keith Lee stands there lays there defeated. Big win for the badass Bronson Steiner here tonight at No Mercy. Hype video. World Heavyweight Championship triple threat match time. Montez Ford defends against both LA Knight and Carmelo Hayes. He's literally back from his eye injury today, so he's good to go. The freeway will be continuing. It will be taking place. We technically got this at SummerSlam, but not really. I don't count it. But the one tonight gets an 87. That's fine. Yeah, sure. And the finish comes basically the same way as it did at SummerSlam. LA Knight hits the BFT on Carmelo Hayes. He goes for the pin. Montez Ford frog splashes on LA Knight's back to break up the pin. He rolls to the outside. Tez hits another frog splash on Melo and pins Carmelo Hayes 1-2-3 to retain the World Heavyweight Championship in 1752. So again, LA Knight, he wasn't pinned or submitted here tonight, but he's still not the World Heavyweight Champion. 89 for Melo, 85 for LA Knight, and 89 for Montez Ford. Still the World Champion. So I guess he won tonight. Bianca technically lost, but she doesn't seem to be bothered by it because she's in her own mind taking care of Candice. But then get hype video for the main event. I've put this in the main event spot because, like I said on SmackDown, SmackDown is really being carried by the women right now. It is basically the women's main brand. So, Io and Dakota, two of the aforementioned quote-unquote SmackDown 6, which, again, if you took notice of the 3 singles matches on this show for the women, it's those 6 again, just shuffled around. So let's see who is going to come out on top in this main event here tonight. 92. Okay. I knew this weren't going to be as good as Asuka versus Io, but technically it was. Technically this one was better than the one on SmackDown. But the SummerSlam one is what the 100 is what I was referring to. But 92 is over what I thought. I was thinking like an 86, 87-ish. So that's fine. Dakota really, showed out in the main event. Because 85 she gets. I don't think that's definitely on the higher end of what she scores. I've seen her score as low as like 73, so yeah. But we had the weird interaction with the referee earlier on. And Cammy, of course, wanted a replacement referee. There's a different referee refereeing this match, and we don't have the same Jason Ayres problem. But at some point in the match, the referee does take a bump. And Dakota pins Io, but, the referee's down. We get the visual 3 count, but the referee's been knocked out, so he can't get up to make the pin. That's why a different referee runs out. She slides into the ring, and she counts the 1, 2, and Io kicks out again. So we've got a new referee in play now. And then Dakota goes for another kick. Io, counters out of it. She hits Dakota with a quick cradle. And the new referee counts 1, 2, 3 really quick. And just like that, it's over. Io retains in 1944 with it says moonsault, quick cradle, thanks to shoddy fast counting from this new referee, who is then revealed to be Mio Shirai, Io's sister, a referee from NXT Japan, the quote-unquote crooked referee of Queendom, trying to screw Dakota. And then after the match, Dakota's just like, what the fuck is this? And the whole of Queendom are celebrating in the ring with Utami, Piper, and Tegan run out, and they will celebrate. They've got Io hoisted on their shoulders, and she's like, well, no, this is fucking bullshit. What the fuck you doing? Where's this referee come from? And then they sort of look at Dakota, and Piper and Tegan start attacking Dakota Kai. Asuka runs out to make the save. She tries to fight them off. She's fighting off Piper and Tegan. Oh no, Utami and Piper. Dakota's fighting off Tegan and Io, but they're still outnumbered. And then Asuka storms out. Not Asuka. And then Bianca Belair storms out from the back. Weird-ish, because she was very heely on this show, but she does have problems with the other heels. She runs in, she whips Utami across the chest, makes the big thump, and she comes in to make the save. She probably hoists up Piper Niven for the KOD, and Dakota kicks Io Sky, she retreats. Asuka kicks, Tegan knocks, she goes down. All of Queendom retreat up the ramp, including their crooked referee, Mio Shirai. And then Dakota and Asuka sort of get up. Again, Dakota sort of stand-offish to Asuka. She still doesn't really trust her, because of the whole WrestleMania stalking situation. And Bianca, of course, is waving her hair around in celebration like she's just done it all by herself. She's not even celebrating with Dakota and Asuka. She turns around and they both sort of just look at Dakota, or look at Bianca. And she just laughs and also leaves. And yeah, that's how the show goes off the air. Wild finish to a wild show. I really like this show, because I often fall into traps when I'm booking a pay-per-view. I would have had to have found a US title match, had to have found, an quote-unquote actual tag team title match. But just the way this show did a lot of progressing stories and shit that I wanted to do, the DQ finish. As weird as it sounds, the pay-per-view was better because it had a DQ finish on it, but that's how I feel. And yeah, but it ended a lot of things like Keith Lee and Bronson Steiner. Buster Gates and Seth Rollins. But a whole lot of other unanswered questions, such as, who is this man that's walked off with Swerve? What is the future of Hit Row? Who is this man who's come to help Daniel Bryan? What will happen with, the Queendom stuff in the main event? What about LA Knight? All of that will be answered in episode 429, which will be the next episode of SmackDown. But before then, we've got to get through one more Raw, SmackDown, Raw and ECW show. And that will be next time. But do let me know what you thought in the comments below for this pay-per-view. And I will see you next time for Raw, which has a big 8-man tag team main event as Cody Rhodes teams with all 3 members of the New Day to take on Drew McIntyre and his temporary alliance with Imperium. See you then.